Oh my God. Okay, guys, welcome back to another amazing show. This is the Real Estate Marketing Roundtable with Real Estate Uncensored. We're going to have a blast. We have Stefan Adika here. He's going to be our guest. He's going to be a clown in shoes the entire time. So forgive us for having him on the show. We have our beautiful bald friend, the evil bald ninja, Mr. Jake Smith. Mr. Gene Volpe.
No, one guy here, one is bald. What's wrong with you, McDaniel?
I had no idea. Shut the fuck up. Let me get through this intro, okay? We got Jake Wolf, we got Nick Stackers, and I'm going to smack the shit out of Stefan Adika later. But first, before I do any of that, here's our intro. Well, now that I have successfully butchered everybody's name on this show, I cannot wait to have you guys on here. I got an incredible co-host and an amazing guest. First but not least, Mr. Gene Volpe, the boss of the bald, the evil bald ninja. How are you, brother?
Look at me. Could I be doing any better?
If you were, you need a twin.
Oh, what kind of twins are we talking about here?
Okay, moving forward.
Gene had to get some water before the show. I don't know what's in that water. But.
Water. Yeah, it must be like an East Coast water because we have water here, but he has water up there.
Coffee. We get coffee.
And coffee. Nick Sackis, how are you, brother?
Not too bad. Not too bad. You know, I'm feeling a little intimidated, though, with our guest background. Usually I'm the one who looks really good, but he's got it dialed in, audio and video. I don't know. I'm feeling intimidated.
You know, I learned everything from you, man. I learned everything from you, and I appreciate your tech advice. And Gene and his great, that box he has in front of him, the branding. But and Jake, look at the mic he has. But then let's look at McDaniel. McDaniel, what is going on? Fix your wig, get your technology together, kid. What's going on?
All right, we're going to talk to you never. Anyways, moving forward, Mr. Jake Wolf, what is up, brother?
I'm doing fantastic. Look, I'm feeling a little hashtag room for improvement on this show, so let's get it on.
Ah, shit, I forgot to put that on the damn title. This is hashtag room for improvement. The show where Stefan will abide because that is where he lives in the world of a little bit for improvement. But Stefan Adika, let everybody know who don't know you. Who are you? Where are you from? Why the fuck are you on my show?
Ooh,
and what's going on?
Oh, man. Oh, Shevitz, you have 5 hours? It's longer than The Godfather epic. Except in part 3. Adika. I'm Stefan Adika. I'm still a real estate agent when I want to be, and I have a YouTube show, Coffee Talk with Adika, and a vinyl show on the weekends that celebrity interviews, ultimate intimate conversations with your favorite artists from Kiss to people from the 60s, people who recorded John Lennon, and interviews during the week with a doctor, health, wellness, and madness, all that stuff. It's kind of Howard Stern meets Don Rickles. And that's it, Greg. My former life, you know how I met you. I got into real estate really quick, and I saw a bunch of schmucks with these, didn't know what they were doing. And then one day I turned to YouTube, and I see you cold calling. Like, I relate to that guy because he's goofy like me, and you did it great. You know, nobody masters the phone the way you do, and the way you pivot and you hold the conversation. Real natural, not scripted. I didn't want to be like, I don't want to name names. I mean, I'll go pull everybody out of the water who I don't like on your show, but I don't want to make you look bad. And you know who they are.
Shall we?
I'll do it. Don't get me started, Gene.
Wait, where are the sponsors? What's the sponsor list? So I know.
I'll bury all the fakes because there's a lot of fakes out there. But McDaniel, his conversation was just really cool. It wasn't. You didn't feel like his hands were in your pocket. You felt like he was really there to help you. And I wanted to be that agent. And then I failed that. Can I curse on here? No, you're not allowed.
Motherfucker, you better.
I failed that fucking test 7 to 8 times. Okay. I found McDaniel and I was watching him. Hey, I bet you're not thinking of selling your house, are you? And I go, this guy is genius. He's great. And he talked to you while he's doing the calls. You felt like you were there with him. So his personality was just awesome. I know I'm not like kissing his ass. He can't do nothing for me now because McDaniel's this and I'm this. But the guy was genius, on the phone, and he still is.
Student is becoming a teacher.
I wanted to imitate him. So then I watched this show and I go, how can I get this guy to get to know me? Because my past life, I was a musician and I played with a bunch of people. But if I tell you, you wouldn't believe me.
No,
you think I'm a liar.
wouldn't. Trust me.
I watched him. I go, he called me back. And I go, yeah, man, I used to play with guys from Guns N' Roses and solo bands, the guys when they were on breaks. I wasn't in Kiss or Guns N' Roses, but I played with those cats. I go, now I'm changing gears and I became a real estate agent, took nose ring out. I became a little civilized and I got to get a real gig. I moved from LA, I moved to the Central Coast, and he thought I was trying to pick him up. I thought I was lying. And I was on 10 because I'm very hyper. I'm like, no, you got this magic. I want to know what you got going on. And that's the time when he was doing a show with Matt to help real estate agents out. But I was stuck with all these idiots in the show. I go, these guys got no personality, but I could do this. And in 3 weeks, everybody goes, you got to be a buyer's agent. I sold a home. I got a listing. I went in there. That's right. Got a listing. I was smart. I brought my sexy wife with her big rack and I closed that motherfucker like that and got that listed and put it up there and sold it. And that's my story.
And that's
real estate, baby.
Hey. I want to clear one thing up.
Yeah.
Greg's hands could never be in your pocket, Adika, because they're always in his own.
But the guy, he's genius and his class is really good. As much as I bust chops, he really helped me out. But he's the reason why I'm not this anymore and I'm this. I mean, he really motivated me to do my own show. And it turned out to be a really good thing on YouTube. And I do with a bunch of celebrities from Andrew Dice Clay to Tawny Katane, who unfortunately passed away. She was the girl in the White Snake video. Jack Douglas, who produced John Lennon. And I built my own little branding watching the real estate world from McDaniel, which you guys always talk about. So thank you guys all.
It is true. No, Stephanie, you've done a phenomenal job growing your brand. Sandy, oh my God, it's so good to see you. Guys, we have Kyle Draper in here, Sean, and a few other folks, but Kyle Draper, you guys got to follow him, his podcast. He's got an amazing podcast, been on the show before. Great content, but I really want to dive into some of this stuff. I love the self-gratification in regards to kind of how I've helped a lot of folks. But the thing is we have big news we need to talk about really quickly. We need to talk about Zillow and the metaverse. With Facebook and kind of where this is going to go. We're going to stay audio. We're going to stay, go to digital video. I mean, what are you guys seeing out there right now? I mean, Jake, take it away. I mean, let's talk about Zillow really quickly. And then let's go to Nick and then to Gene.
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, we went ahead and talked about Zillow, right? And the news a couple of weeks back was literally, we're going to go ahead and put a pause on any of our iBuying programs and purchasing due to the fact that we have some supply and constraints and contractor constraints and things like that. Everybody was thinking, what's this? What's going on here, right? Obviously, there's room for improvement. So, but as the next couple of weeks went in and transpired, I think over the last weekend, possibly even Friday, we're seeing a complete removal from the real estate industry. And it's interesting. It will be interesting to go ahead and see because we're looking at a lot of properties that Zillow is selling for less than what they purchased not too long ago. So what's going on? We will see, right? So earlier on in the year, we talked about the appreciation of the real estate market, mass appreciation, a lot of people sitting in equitable positions, a lot of people moving. There's going to be some squeezes happening. I mean, it's inevitable. And maybe this is the first little penny into the wishing well of what's going on. So keep a close eye on your micro markets, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. But interesting to see.
I want to ask a question about it, though, because I come from Philly, right? So I have a sneaky suspicion that this wasn't done by accident. I have a hard time believing that they went into this thing going, we didn't really do our background, and in 2 months we're going to be out of this. Is there any sinister motivation going on here where here's what I think, right? So when I saw this, I go, okay, so they actually miscalculated the value of homes on the market. And what I thought to myself was, isn't that what they've been doing for 20 years? Like
Mhm.
they basically jumped on the one thing that they said they were good at and fucked it up. So like my question here is, was it an accident or is there another thing at play here?
Nick, that's a great question for you.
I'm with you, man. I'm thinking the same thing, right? I don't have to be from the Northeast to have suspicions, right? I,
It helps.
I don't know. Is it a combination of you know, a multi-million dollar corporation doesn't just go oops, right? That does seem to be a little bit strange. But for me, is it timing market? Are they talking about everybody wants to time the market? Everybody wants to time this pending doom crash thing, whatever is supposed to be pending for the past 5-ish years, right? Is it manpower? Did they not have enough employees to really make it work? Now they're laying off people, but did they realize they didn't have enough employees to scale it because there's employment problems in the US right now? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of variables to it. But one thing I do know is as a real estate agent, you probably should have a Google alert with the tag Zillow and be consuming articles every single day on all the news going on with Zillow and just regurgitate the information to your people through video because it's new and noteworthy. And Zillow has a $1 billion brand, and you can be riding that train as far as an information hub to your people and be the clarity to everybody's questions right now.
Amen.
Interesting. Jake, what's your take on this? I know, Stefan, I want to get your thoughts on this as well, because I mean, this is really big news. I mean, Stefan, when you and I were a year or so ago, when you and I were doing cold calls, remember the time we were doing cold calls on Beers and Calls, and we got a Zillow agent, and you were being you, and you were completely fucking with the poor girl. But it was hilarious, and
tried to see if she wanted to sell our house. Maybe I could do a better thing.
And the funny thing is like you and I were messing around. You're like, I'm really good friends with Greg McDaniel, and just one thing about selling your house, blah blah blah. I'm a real estate agent, and she goes, "Oh, you're a real estate agent? I have to terminate this call at this point." And she hung up the phone. And you and I were blown away at that conversation.
Yeah, I remember that. That was the good old days. She just hung up on me, and I actually called back again. I go, watch this. I just called her back to see it. Maybe I said something not right, but maybe I could help you out. Maybe I could do better than Zillow. Zillow is in the news all over the place. I mean, there's a lot of stuff from its stocks crashing to bots buying properties and reselling it. So I got to ask you guys. I'm a little confused here. What happened to Zillow? What's going on with them? There's a whole bunch of. If you Google Zillow, the world is crashing on Zillow. They laid off their employees. Everything. They were like the devil to the real estate agents. Zillow was taking over. You did all the agents that were talking on YouTube. They would talk about Zillow. Now it's the horns. Everybody seen the horns of Zillow is my question.
I don't know, Jake. I mean, you're on the front lines with a lot of teams. I mean, what are you seeing with this conversation?
So it's a little bit early to go ahead and kind of diagnose, right? There's a lot of speculation in the market. I think time is going to go ahead and give us a truth indication. The truth will always go ahead and come out. But there are some things that we're looking at. So it's interesting for me to go ahead and look at why anybody would go ahead and purchase not so long ago and then sell for a lot less. But it's also interesting to me that the whole Zestimate scenario has been over time built up to be a biblical marker of home valuations inside of your marketplace. However, a Zillow-owned home is listed for somewhere like $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 more than what their estimate says. So it seems to me like they have a lot of work to do over there. There might be some financial partners looking at maybe how they reorganize with some of their business constraints. However, I do feel that there is something brewing in the marketplace, and that might be another contributing factor. So when and if something does constrain your metro marketplace from some type of cooling down, maybe they don't want to be sitting in a position where they're holding. So there's a lot of politics out there right now. We see this big infrastructure bill that's getting forced, and there's a lot of stuff that are contributing factors out of the political world that will affect things as we know it. And maybe the housing market will be part of that domino coming up here, maybe by the end of the month into December. We'll see.
It's interesting.
Those are things.
I'm sorry, I cut you off, my friend.
Those are the things that we're looking at real close. So I think there's a lot of stuff that's coming in to converge on maybe their decision-making process.
You know what? Karma's a bitch, and she'll come back and bite you in your ass. And they told us back in the day that they would never compete with us in any way, shape, or form. They went out and bought a mortgage company 2 years ago. Then they went out and they started doing iBuyers, and they cut out, the real estate agents trying to do their own thing. So you know what, motherfuckers, this is what you get. Stop biting the hand that feeds you, and you should have just stayed happy. You just enjoyed the revenue. Stop being greedy, and just go on your happy way. Because guess what? All of us real estate agents, we're happy with you taking our money, taking our content, and then making your money off of it. Hey, that's cool. No problem at all. It's just business. But when you come in and you lie to us and then you try to steal from us, fuck you.
I sense some hostility with triggers.
None.
However, I want to double coin what Nick said, right? So this is newsworthy, pressworthy information. They built a mega brand, and for you and your business, you need to be an educational ambassador. Use that kind of information to get it out to the folks. So that's extremely important. And I'll tell you what, hyperlocal is important. Stefan was talking about bots buying homes, and we're going to get into the whole metaverse of things and how interesting that new 3D virtual world is. However, I'll tell you what, if I'm buying a home in Tampa, I'm going to go talk to Nick Sakis and say, Nick, man, let's get a beer. What are you seeing, buddy?
Boots on the ground.
Yeah. And that's important. So relationships are key, guys. We get so distracted in life with thousands of things coming at us every single day. And some people with the new fast food metaverse mentality of virtual digital world get caught up in that. But there is a whole lot of opportunity for each and every single one of you guys participating in this industry. Just get relevant and do that by getting visual and educating your people. Be blessed and unstoppable.
Jake, you're right. Do you guys think because of what happened with COVID and all this, it just made the normal consumer just go, I'm going to go right to Zillow, just go online, and I don't want to deal with talking to somebody because I got my own phobias of getting sick or the heebie-jeebies. Do you think that has a big play with?
Amen. I think there's a lot of contributing factors there that leveraged some of the new technology into what's going on. Hell, I just saw a commercial last night while I was watching the Braves. Congratulations, Braves.
Boom.
It was a Domino's commercial. And so, however, this was a really well done commercial. Everybody was happy. Guy pulls up into the Domino's parking lot, and out comes the delivery boy from the shop and puts the pizza right in the back of the trunk. So, yeah, our world is changing, ladies and gentlemen.
The world is changing, and as agents out there, you got to go with the program, and you got to change with it. So, how do we change? How do we become human again, where we could connect with people and mix the change with the connection? How do you do it, you guys?
Personal brand.
I'm sorry.
Gene likes getting really personal with people, so that's a good question for Gene.
Well, actually, there's a couple things, right? I want to go back to what Adika was saying about the COVID and everything. The other thing too was the ease of use, right? Zillow made it so that now you go to their page, you look up a property you'd like to see, and there's a green button under that says "Make a cash offer," right? Or make an offer. So it's like, I don't have to go anywhere to talk to anybody physically. I don't have to go off this website to connect with somebody. I don't have to answer the phone. I'm going to kick it here and see what they tell me and go from there. So like ease of use was a big deal, right? So that cartwheeling into how do you separate yourself? I'm gonna shout out somebody on this call. This South Florida agent is named David Cohen, and he put out a post like 20 hours ago. I'm looking at it, and it's an article about breaking. Zillow calls it quits on iBuying. He's laying off 25% of its staff. And he's talking to the buyers, and he's going, buyers are always asking all these questions. And the last line of it says, if you're looking for single family homes in South Florida, I can filter out homes owned by Zillow and present offers. So I got me thinking about, like, from an investor strategy or a strategy where we don't really know what's happening yet, but what does it hurt for you to have a buyer to call in and make a $40,000 less than asking offer on a property that they may be trying to liquidate, right? Because in a lot of cases, think of a bank. A bank is not in the real estate industry. So when they have an REO, they want to get rid of that. They're not in the business of having these assets. You got to maintain them. You got to, all these things have to happen. How do we know that Zillow went, we got to get these off our books? Maybe there's tax credits behind it. Maybe they did this because now they can show loss and it helps them with their 2022 tax write. I don't know, but they may be willing to say to me, we paid $550 for this house. These guys came in and offered us $4.25. Fuck it, let it go. So this guy's thinking out of the box enough where he's saying, if you're a buyer, what's it going to hurt for us to make a 50% offer on what they're doing? All they're going to say is no, right? Or who knows? They might say yes. Like we sold my mom's estate. Tell you a quick story. My mom passed away in 2009. I brought somebody in, and you know how that works. It's like I couldn't buy it. I was the executor of the estate. You need that arm's length transaction thing. I brought a friend of mine in. He explained the process to me. He said, the bank is going to negotiate with you. I'm going to make you an offer. She owed $180 on the house. He came in at $75,000. And he goes, look, I'm just going to put that offer out, and then they're going to say no, and our attorneys are going to go back and forth for 6 months, and then it'll happen at some point. He calls me 2 days later. He goes, I can't believe it. The bank said yes. So they took a $75,000 offer on a note that they were owed $180 on it in 2 days. We don't know that Zillow is not going to do that. So I just like this guy's creativity. He's thinking outside the box. If I have buyers, come see me. I'll sort the properties Zillow owns, and we'll go in and just go under the covers and go like this. Bing, 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 bing. And whatever we get, we get. And if not, so what? We tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Yep.
You never know.
Okay.
Try, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it really does. It does not hurt to try when it comes to this stuff. And I'm actually on a very sick little level. I'm very excited that Zillow has stopped buying properties because they're stopped. Well, at this point, their stories of the fact that they've run out of investor money and they need to hold tight for a couple of months. Whatever. I mean, I just don't care. It's an opportunity for any agent out there right now to take advantage of this and run with it wholeheartedly. Stefan, when it comes to kind of your podcast and kind of stuff you're putting out there and people you're interviewing, they're not real estate agents. What are the conversations that you're hearing from behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes, I don't think people really want to say behind the scenes. Nobody's honest behind the scenes, Greg. I mean, that's
look, we're not talking casting couch here, okay? We're just talking, conversations with consumers.
Yeah, there's some stains on that couch behind you. I can see it from here.
Put me on with you that I could see everybody for a second. I don't want to look at my handsome face and just, take the show away from you guys. I want to look at you guys.
Okay. Just go.
All right. Okay, repeat the question now. What am I hearing about real estate with people out there? Is that what
should I speak slower for you?
Yeah,
with small words. Okay.
Yeah. What do you need?
So for consumers that are out there that you're talking to and the conversations you're having that are not real estate based, are they concerned about Zillow? Do they know about Zillow? I mean, what do you see in this?
I'll give you an example. Okay. A lady in the neighborhood I was talking to, and this is a crazy story. She was going with a regular agent that knew nothing about the neighborhood. Okay. And here's a person on boots on the ground. And he overpriced the home and whatnot. He wasn't an agent in the neighborhood. A couple of weeks later, I see the house on Redfin, listed with Redfin. Okay, that home sold for what maybe under 10K under 10 grand, which she wanted to get, but it sold. Okay, I think a lot of what I hear on the street, a lot of people have lost faith in a lot of real estate agents. I feel like they feel like the agents don't really care. They just care about what's in their pocket. So maybe I'm not answering your question right, but I think the trust of your local Bob from Remax.
Oh, we hate that motherfucker. You know that.
I think a lot of people feel jaded and burnt from that guy. So that's when they tend to go to these other platforms, or everybody's looking for a deal. Everybody wants to save money, McDaniel. You know that. Whether it's the commission, whether it's you pay for what you get. But again, you can't change people's mindsets on things. But
perceived value. Yeah, it's not
perceived value.
The other thing too, they play dirty, man. Those iBuyers, like if you look at their correspondence and what they actually like, talking about what Steven just said, or Stefan, sorry.
Okay,
As far as
he goes by Stephanie sometimes too.
Stephanie.
yeah, there you go.
Whatever.
I just saw one the other day. It was an ad, and I think it was from OfferPad, and it was about days on market, and it was like comparison. It was OfferPad home 0 days on market, comparable home number 1, 35 days on market, comparable home number 2, 47 days on market. Like, sell your home fast. Well, yeah, that's the whole transaction. But if you actually look at the MLS data, that comp number 2 and comp number 3 sold in 2 days. But they're advertising it in a way that is the full term of the contract, not the closing. You see what I'm saying? So, like, they're playing all these little tricks. Of course, that homeowner that sold in 0 days from OfferPad, they didn't move in 0 days. So they're counting the moving day, closing day for other comparables, and the sign-on contract day for them. And the general public goes, oh, man. And then they get down the rabbit hole. It's like, well, I'm down this far. I've gotten the inspection. Now I see all these extra fees. But the convenience is there. And I would have had to wait an extra 2 weeks if I were with an agent, because that's what they told me. And, you know, it goes back to the thing that we've known since day one, which is the average consumer only interviews one agent. So now that one agent that they used to talk to is now iBuyer online, and they're getting misinformation or guided information from that company. And it's completely eliminating people out of the deal. So from us, you have to talk about, how do you differentiate yourself? How do you not be viewed as Bob? You have a personal brand. You create your personal brand that's not associated with the shingle that you hang your license on, that's associated with you as a person. Stephen Adika used to play music. I like him. I vibe with him. I want to do business with him, right? That is the only way to overcome all of this noise right now, is to create your tribe and your personal brand. And there's never been a better time to do that.
I think a lot of these agents need to show more of their heart and just stop with the scripts that you're getting. I think the old day, and you guys might disagree with me, those scripts, those Keller Williams scripts and all that nonsense. I think now it's time where the world wants to see your heart, and the world wants to be spoken to, not spoken at, you know, and it's
the BS radar is high.
The BS radar, it's
BS like radar is really high. And if you only say things with the intent, if you like, so it's not just the words, it's the intent. If your intent is always to sell something, right? And that's how you come off. Nobody likes salespeople.
No.
Online is the equivalent of when you walk into a store, when you used to walk into a store, and somebody said, "Can I help you?" And you'd go, "Pound salt, I'm good."
I'd walk out the store.
Right? That version now is like a forced registration on a landing page, or like, it's that instant bad taste. Leave me alone. I want to make my own decision. The only way to get past that wall of leave me alone is the attraction base of personal brand, which takes time. But once you build that ecosystem, it's unstoppable.
It's you know, being a realtor, it's the hardest gig in the world, and a lot of people don't get that. And it's almost, you got to be a therapist, and that's the first step. You could take the test and pass it, but be a people's person, be a therapist.
Stefan, I wonder who told you that line. That
Matt.
Part of business.
So, Matt.
Stefan's got that soothing therapist voice, man. I could just sit on that couch behind him and
in his drum set,
tell him all my problems.
So we've agreed on a couple of things, and one of the things I want to touch on really quickly before we move on to the metaverse, because then we're going to be running up on time. Gene has a hard stop. Is that there's a quick little phrase, and it was, I think, Stefan, I think you said this, is that the consumers have lost faith in the average agent.
Yeah.
And that is profoundly impactful in regards to your business, in regards to how you're going to move forward. And this is the reason why, is that, look, everyone is special in their own right. I'm never going to take anything away from anybody. Like, what I will say is this: you are not the exception, you're the rule. And yes, we all think we're incredible, but if you have not been in contact and on a consistent basis with your clientele, you've lost respect, and they have lost faith in you because they don't feel that they care about you. And I think that's something we really need to take to heart on this thing. And I want to go to Jake real quick. And let's say I'm Joe Agent, not Joe Longo, but Joe Agent. And you were talking to Jake Wolf, the real estate agent. How would you feel if you were Joe, the consumer, if you hadn't talked to me in a year or two? Would you want to have a conversation with me?
So it's not even just in the real estate marketplace, guys, right? So it's industrious. It really is. So when you're looking at marketing from my corner, right, after all of the years that I've been in the game, many different industries, it always comes back to what are the things that you do to put in place to acquire attention from new prospective customers? What are the activities that you do to go ahead and help with a conversion? And then once they've converted, i.e., submitted their information online, became a customer of yours, what are the necessary activities you do to keep retention with your brand? So you have to stay active in all of those pillars and take a look at how your scales balance for business to make sure you're doing adequate things in each one of them, right? So you're absolutely right. If all of a sudden I just got connected, if you didn't stay in contact with me, even with just brand, right? Then all of a sudden out of the blue, you'd have to have a pretty good reason for connecting back to me, right? And the suspicion guards would be up and everything else like that. But I'll tell you one thing. Stefan is absolutely right. You have to go ahead and increase your credibility. You do that by what Nick says, being a damn good person. All right. Share quality information, be educational, be an ambassador of your craft and your local marketplace. Just be of goodwill, right? Be a good human. All right. And it will go a long way in life, just not even in business. Just be a good human. We have a real estate agent that works with us, good dear friend of mine now. He's out of the Fort Worth area, and he's very patriotic and put on a big campaign just out of the sheer goodwill of his heart, saying, hey, you know what? If you guys don't have an American flag on your house and you're looking to go ahead and have one installed, I'll go ahead and put one up on your home for free. You know, a lot of times people are, they can't do it. Maybe finances are part of it. Maybe they don't know how to install it. I'll do it. Well, it started to go a little viral. So everybody started contributing to the flag fund for other people that want a flag. And it started going on. One day, he was asked by one of these families that he was hanging a flag. So what do you do for a profession? He says, I'm a real estate agent. Oh, I get it now, is the response. And then this gentleman had to say, whoa, hang on a second. I'm doing this because I'm a patriot and I love this damn country, because you asked for help and this is a gesture that I'm doing. I didn't once go ahead and bring up that I was what I did professionally. I could have said I was the dentist or own the damn hardware store, or I run the pizza shop, or I'm the newspaper boy for all that. But in those words, right, we have a lot of new people coming into the industry, and there's always a lot of turnover, and everybody's making noise because they're trying desperately to glue all of these pieces together. So that's what you have to combat. And you combat it by brand next to the customer, and you do it by being a damn good person and share quality information everywhere you possibly can. So,
yeah. Jake, you just said the word desperately, and a lot of people get into the business and real estate desperately, and that word desperately fucks up your business, because you're coming out desperate. I need money, and in your head it shows as a real estate agent, because you're broke, you have no other avenues to turn to, and you're damaging your own business and everybody else's business along with it. You're giving a bad name out there on the streets.
Amen.
Short-term thinking.
The funny thing is, like, the word noise was said here several times, and that's a really good word for it, because I mean, when it comes to real estate, there is a lot of noise, and to stand out, I mean, Zillow stepping back. Us as professionals, either marketers or real estate professionals, you need to step up and be the least amount of noise in the biggest vertical you can be. So you want to go out there and you want to hang the flags. You want to go out there and help the elderly. You want to help, donate time to your children's schools. Be a human being and create noise in the quietest way you possibly can, because it'll have the biggest impact on the community. When people see that you're not out there doing a self, promotion, but you're out there just to help the people that you live around, guys, that's really going to blow things up a lot. But
I'm going to give everybody a tip here real quick.
Please do.
Okay. When we talk about retention of customers that have converted, or prospects that have become your customers, people you've dealt with before, or even people in your sphere of influence, okay? All of these different suggestions of activities that you can physically do in your marketplace, those are coming out of the box and really putting a lot of energy and stuff into it. But It's simple as the thought process of writing a weekly email with quality information that goes out to all of these people that are already inside of your sphere of influence is important. That in and of itself is an easy way of an activity to keep brand retention. You could sit down at night on the weekend after dinner, pour a glass of wine, have a scotch, get in your office and put some thought into generating something of quality education, thought, hyperlocal information that you can then share out to your folks. But I want everybody to think and audit yourself, right? Are you even doing that right now? And if you're not, it's an easy way to go ahead and utilize technology as a start to this process. And then once you find something else cool to do that means a lot to you, then do that as well. So, but you have to take activities in your business and be blessed and unstoppable. We woke up today, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to this. You've got a chance to go ahead and kick ass. Let's go.
Yeah. It should motivate you, especially when you hear the whole nonsense with Zillow going on and all this, okay, fix my business. Let's get this together. Let me go out there, be positive, and change gears. Just put on that hat. I mean, you can't let your bad day ruin other people's good day. You just got to.
You can't have a bad day after a bad day after a bad day after a bad day.
No.
If you're having a bad day after a bad day after a bad day, right? We've all heard life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's so much of what we do is this fear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we fear like Zillow is this big animal. We fear like the market's going to crash and we shouldn't do anything. And then that indecision paralyzes you from taking Jake's point and making a plan to have a very simple newsletter go out to your people and communicate with them effectively, right? It's those very simple things. Like, Greg.
Yes.
If I offered you $10 million, would you take it?
What are the terms of it?
The terms of that $10 million is that you would not wake up tomorrow morning.
Absolutely hard stop, yes. Of course, no.
So room for improvement.
We constantly value things that aren't important. Money isn't important. Money's being printed on a daily, hourly, every single minute. More money is being printed. There's more money in the economy right now than there ever has been for you to go take in your market. There's so much opportunity, but we're wasting our time on bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. We're wasting so much time on bullshit. So have a plan. Figure out your outcome, work backwards, have a plan, put it in place, and just start small. It doesn't have to be big. You don't have to start off with a podcast with $5,000 worth of equipment like our boy Stefan over here, right?
Well,
we can't all be as handsome as Greg or Gene or Jack Wolf over there, or Jack Fox, I should say.
Yes.
But everybody can start off with a simple communication or database. Everybody can start off by having a database, creating something, a form of communication to the people that know you. Because at the end of the day, listen, the best agents are the ones that have a lot of friends. Like we talk about being a human, just how many friends do you have? If you only have 10 friends right now that you could literally call and be like, hey man, I got a flat tire. Can you come help me? Like how many people could you call right now to help you with a flat tire? You need to up that flat tire friend list. And
I like that a
those
lot.
people will start referring you and they know you're in business. And just get more friends, man. Just be a better person. And
you know the funny thing is, Nick, when you're saying that, I was actually thinking about it because I, as you guys all know, I take Rupert the fuzz face up to the dog park at least 2 to 3 times a day minimum. And the other day I was having a rough day. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to go to the dog park. I don't want to deal with people. I'm going to go to the beach. And I went to the beach and I met a guy. And he and I were chatting over dogs. And he's like, what do you do for a living? How come you're out here, in the midday on middle of the week? And I'm like, I'm a real estate agent and been doing it for 22 years, so on and so forth. He's like, give me your card. I'm thinking about doing something. And so the thing is, when I say that, is that like at the dog park, at the cigar shop, at the, wine bar, whatever your fave is, people want to know what you're doing. You have to let them know that you're a professional doing it, but go have fun and do it in the places you want to do it. Zillow is opening up an opportunity for all of us right now, since they stopped doing the iBuyer, for you to have a conversation. Say, when they say, what do you do for a living? You say, well, actually, this is what I tell people. I say, well, I put people in debt and I stress them out. And they're like, what? I'm like, oh, I'm a real estate, agent. and they laugh, and the levity is there, and we move on. But then you guys say, hey, have you heard about the whole Zillow thing about how they're stopping buying homes and how they're not, how they have to pay a higher percentage for them? All of a sudden you get a conversation going and you're throwing the ball for the dog on the beach and life is good.
Yeah. I mean, these people are all looking at Zillow. These people that are looking to sell and buy homes because they.
What do you mean?
Zillow's
What do you mean these people?
The consumers,
Okay.
the consumers. They're all looking at Zillow, number one, because that's what's telling them what their home is worth. Anybody out there, they're looking. Oh, Zillow says how many times have you guys heard it? Zillow says my house is worth $10 million and I'm rich. I'm rich.
Every single time.
So now it's a conversation to use Zillow for your, since the market is crashing on them, since this other situation is going on. Now you got something to talk about with your people, but keep in touch with your clients. You can't just let it go. You got to always water the flower. What happens when you stop the water?
It dies. It dies. It's dead. It's done. It's kaputs. Bye-byes. Guys, we got 10 minutes left on this. I want to jump in the metaverse really quickly and just jump down that lane. Gene, it sounds like you're ready to rock and roll on this thing. So walk us through it.
I'm not. I just want to be clear here. We just rattled through somebody proving that I was right for 15 minutes and nobody even brought it up. Like I'm just not going to allow you to gloss over the fact that I'm the man. I can't do it.
So sorry, Gene. I want to recognize you as the man.
Of course. Yes.
Thanks, Manka. All right, on to metaverse. Go ahead.
All right, let's jump into this. Gene.
So it's interesting. It's interesting. The Zillow, right, is trying to go ahead and bring people into this digital world and feed on those different things. Realtor.com its response was working with Open Door to give you that same instant gratification on their platform. Mm-hmm. And the whole world seems to be working on Zoom. The kids came home from the pandemic. People are working at their kitchen table. The dogs are biting them on the ankles, and we're all turning into weird cyborgs. And our good friend, Mr. Mark, decided to go ahead and unveil and dress up as a human for Halloween. And there's going to be a new 3-dimensional world that we will all be living in. So it's interesting, guys. If you want to go ahead and do some research on the depths of this, get into what the thought process is of how they're bringing folks into this industry. We've got these games out there called Fortnite, and billions and billions of hours of consumption of people's time has been on those different platforms. And this gaming industry and the way that 3D world has kind of evolved has allowed for social networks to kind of adapt and want to create its own online universe. So now, since people are home, now you've got these platforms. You can create your own space, your own world, your own metaverse, your own cyborg you, and dress up your house as however you want it. And their intention is to, once they have adoption, which there's already demand, but once they have adoption, now you're going to start seeing monetization happen on these different channels. It always happens like that. So once you start trading your non-infinite life to go ahead and jump into this weird cyborg world of the Jetsons, now all of a sudden people are going to start adopting to it and being on there communicating. So it's something that we're going to watch. We're going to keep at the round table. We'll adapt as well to see what's going on. But it is going to be interesting. I feel that the marinating of our generations that are younger than us, that don't have gray hair, and the adoption of our digital space is going to help bring this on. And as soon as business and training and other folks start to put their workforce into those worlds as well, it's going to be interesting. Soon we're going to be flying around in spaceships. I think I need to get a garage on the top of my roof to go ahead and fly one of my hovercraft at some point.
They actually have man-powered drones that last for 35 minutes that can be pre-programmed for GPS coordinates. So you can literally turn the air into a freeway. So I really do think this is going to be coming down the pipe, but that's complete side note. Nick, what's your thoughts on the metaverse or metroverse or whatever else?
We don't have enough time for my thoughts. I mean,
break it down.
Start, like, seriously.
We're not talking about the universe of your sexuality, Greg. It's metaverse.
Okay, moving forward. You
No, I mean, I think so. Here's the thing, right? At a very at a very base level, to really wrap your mind around from a if I'm listening to the show and I've never heard anything about what is this Web 3.0, right? Web 1.0. Think about like 1995 to 2005, like the first version of the web. Everything was text. Everything was information. You know, it was a chat room. It was a PDF document on a website that you went to. 2005 to basically current Web 2.0, which is websites got interactive. Social media came about. We all got connected. And then these big conglomerates popped up and said, oh, all of this free stuff that we're going to give you guys, we're going to track you on it. And then we're going to monetize that tracking. I think everybody has, at a base level, you can pretty much ask your grandma and she pretty much knows what a pixel is online. Everybody's kind of sick of it. And so what Web 3.0 is, or this metaverse mentality, this decentralized mentality, is the breakaway from the current norm, the breakaway from the Facebooks of the world, which is why it's so interesting that Facebook is the first one to come out and be really trying to get public adoption to their version of the metaverse, because they want to grab people before the general population realizes that they're still going to be controlled in their platform. Because the real Web 3.0 is decentralized, and you pick what you want to share, what you don't want to share. You are anonymous online, and you have the ability to pick and choose which ecosystems you want to be a part of. And you're not just a number, right? You are, I guess you are just a number. You're not tied to your personal social security number and your physical address. And so there's a lot of cool things happening in this Web 3.0, a lot of ability for monetization. Like Jake was saying, everybody's ecosystem, cryptocurrency is going to play a huge part in this. For real estate agents, you guys, if you're not involved in cryptocurrency, if you're not involved in NFTs, I want you to understand something just at a very base level. Okay. We're not going to get, I said, we don't have enough time to really talk about all this, but two platforms, Sandbox and Decentraland, out there right now. You can buy virtual land, and think of it like if you were in early adoption in Amazon and Google before they were Amazon and Google, and you could actually buy parcels of land in these ecosystems that all this stuff is being built on, right? So you can own the land that the stadium is actually built on, that people want to come in and view your store online. So like,
and the prices are going up, Nick.
In terms of the real estate mentality, right? Real estate agents on this show, Decentraland and Sandbox, you can buy parcels of land that your kids, I promise you, in 20, 30, 50 years are going to go, you mean like you could have bought this highway for $2,500 that's now worth $2.5 million? Because it's like that kind of thing. It's like, how can your dad that owned the farm that's now worth $100 million because he farmed on it, and then, you know, a highway came through and now Publix is there or whatever. Like, it's that same kind of land grab, but it's all virtual. So there's literally a massive amount of opportunity from connecting those dots as real estate agents. From cool perspective, VR is going to become a lot more relevant in people's lives, and you are going to be able to have spaces and meet up with people. If you thought Zoom was cool in the pandemic and meeting people on Zoom, you're going to be able to, hey, guess what? We already use Matterport. So how about this, right? You Matterport your office, and instead of customers physically driving to your office, they throw on VR. Now they're in your office through a Matterport scan, and they can physically be with you as their own avatar. And it's way more in person than Zoom, because you're in this world. Like, that's what's coming, right?
Will you be able to buy a piece of a building that's high enough for me to virtually jump the fuck off of?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But think about in terms of like, okay, so I'm going real far down the rabbit hole. If the economy keeps expanding, right, and things become more and more expensive, if we don't have a crash, right, and things just become more and more expensive and the middle class is getting wiped out, this is what, in my opinion, this is not advice, this is not anything, right? In my opinion, you're going to have two diverse sets of people. You're going to have super rich who are just getting richer every single day, and they're going to be able to afford physical experiences. They're going to be able to go and transact and do things in the physical world. For the rest of the people who don't have enough money because milk is $25 a gallon, they're going to live in the virtual world. They're going to put on their goggles. They're going to have a nicer home virtually than they do physically. And that, I see that as how this is going to become like a great divide almost into what your world looks like. Because you'll be able to spend a lot more time virtually than you will physically.
Does anybody see anything wrong with this?
Yes. Yeah.
Get a Peloton machine.
Am I dead
Work out
wrong?
at
I don't
home.
know. We didn't even talk about this. What do you?
No, you're absolutely right. So once again, there's contributing factors, right? Money and control. Okay, they're trying to go ahead and make a divide here. So it's and you will see. You know, regardless of your thought process now, we will all see how this thing goes.
Listen, Disney is heavily involved right now with their IP and NFTs and getting into that. Like, think about it. How much does it cost for a family to go to Disney? I know it's about $5,000 to $8,000, right?
Crazy.
Family of four. It's not a cheap thing to do.
No.
What if you could get a virtual experience of a Disney hotel room at the Animal Kingdom that's normally $1,200 a night, and you could take a reservation for a specific day and time to throw on your VR goggles, and your family could be inside that Disney suite and experience the same things for $100.
And it's not even goggles anymore. There's really nice shades.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you're there virtually. So like now all of a sudden, now you're doing the whole Disney experience through VR. Like that's what they're building. It's gonna be way more affordable.
But that hurts my heart and soul to a deep level, because I mean when we were all kids, I mean we'd go to Disneyland, we'd wait in the lines, we'd get sweaty, we would eat the giant turkey leg, you know, we would experience life in the flesh. And if that gets taken away from humanity, where does humanity live? I mean, there was that Disney movie, I keep referencing it, but I always forget about it. It's a little robot, right? And he's roaming around and he finds all these people living in a virtual world where they had the perfect avatars. And then they woke up and they said, well, that sucked. I'm going to come back and actually have interactions with people. And, you know, all the people, the physical human beings, they were all super obese. They had no muscle because they've been laying down these beds, you know, for their basically their entire lives. Are we going to get to that point, like, mentally or physically?
What reality are we living in? Right. So like our parents listened to the radio as their source of information. And when they told us don't sit too close to the TV because it'll rot your brain, they really believed it. Mm-hmm. We grew up just fine. Right. Your mom and dad yelled at you for not playing too many video games as a kid.
No.
It'll rot your brain. We grew up just fine. They didn't get it. We don't get it. But my kids are certainly going to tell me, Dad, you don't get it. Virtual reality is the shit. And this is where I'm going to live. And you have I'm not for or against, but my eyes are wide open.
You got to have eyes wide open. I mean, adaptability.
We have to adapt. I mean, look at all those people that were riding around on horses and say, "What the hell is that thing with four wheels?"
Yeah,
I mean, look how much the world has changed in 2 years.
Yeah, you think all these kids that have been homeschooled for the past 2 or 3 years are going to go to a job in an office?
Hell no.
The workforce, the kids that were in high school that didn't have a graduation, that have been homeschooled for the past 24 months are going into the workforce and they're saying, why do I need to go to an office?
No more people skills.
If I don't need to go to an office, why do I need to go to the movies with my friends when we can virtually chat? Like, it's a slippery slope, right? Of course, human interaction is the shit, like, obviously, but it's a different time, man.
I've got a strong takeaway here. The takeaway is this, right? Regardless of our opinions on whether this is healthy or not, we all have experienced massive change, even in the last 20 years, guys. I mean, when I started marketing, social media wasn't even around. Businesses were saying, oh, what's that thing called the internet? We should probably have a website. That's important. Okay, so, but look at the change of the last 15 years. Now we have 5G technology, and Elon Musk is launching things to outer space, and things are returning onto drone ships. And I mean, so the takeaway is this: we have to constantly be in a state of mind to adapt to not only our physical environments, but also the things that will affect our business and our personal lives. We have to understand them, educate ourselves on them. That's very important. And we have to go ahead and take a look at history and learn from history so that we know how to positively or negatively interact with change, and then make that adaptation happen and be open-minded to it. Okay. So Obviously, we all have different opinions on whether it's healthy or not and political views. However, inevitable change happens, and then you have to look at how you are going to accept that into your life and take the actionable steps necessary.
That was well said, Jake. I like to say it this way. Just because you don't understand it or don't like it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So my big thing, and we talk a little bit about this once in a while, is like cryptocurrency. That hurts most people's heads. Even me, I'm a tech guy, and even when you get into the space of it, there's so many different chains and so many different things, and what's the use of the token? Like, it's overwhelming, right? But that didn't stop me from buying every goddamn coin on the planet, because I'm going to stash that away from somewhere. And when somebody down the road goes, see this Shiba Inu coin with the cute dog? I'm going to take that for a Tesla. Well, guess what? The value of that coin just went up, and if I'm holding it, I'm in good shape. So just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. You might as well figure it out and get on the bus now.
Okay.
Well, remember when Beanie Babies were selling for over $100,000?
Yeah, remember those? I do.
Like, it's a stuffed animal. It's got weight.
That was ridiculous, but I understand where you guys are going with that. So let's do quick takeaways. We're going to wrap this thing up. We are at bingo, if not over bingo. Gene, you're the last one that spoke. Bring us in with your final thoughts.
Well, look, my final thoughts is I got to get in touch with Nick after this thing, because I need to learn more about the sandbox and stuff. I don't know much about it. I got to wrap my head around it. But if I can get on the ground floor or something with a little bit of money out of pocket, meaning that I'm not going to go to bed tonight and go, what happens if this was all fake? All right, I lost $2,000. If I can go to sleep like that, I'm jumping in now, because who knows? Like you said, you just put it out in a way that made me understand, like, oh, I could see how it sounds stupid, but I could see how people would want to buy into my virtual reality space if I own it. Like, there's so many things I don't understand. Doesn't mean I don't want to learn about it. So Nick and I are going to be buying some commercial buildings virtually through one of these things. I don't know. And we'll talk to you guys about renting your space when we get there. So learn a new task, learn a new trick, learn a new something, and dive in with a couple bucks every once in a while. It might turn out to be shit. It could turn out to be an amazing experience. So lifelong legacy for your family.
Okay, so that's your takeaway. GVA Media, where can people get a hold of you, and why would they want to get a hold of you?
So real quick, I would like to say tomorrow night we're going to be in North Jersey at Passaic with at the Tom Ferry event. So there's apparently only 32 tickets left. Antonio Stella, who's a longtime listener to the show, will be out there. I'm going to meet him face to face for the first time. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm sure I'll be meeting more people out there too, but I'm kind of excited about it. The captain Captain Link Juice, you've seen him on the show before, and I are doing a two-person stage party up there after Tom Ferry goes up and does his thing. So we're going to blow him out of the water. That's where you can find me tomorrow.
Out of the water?
Out of the water.
Water.
That's right.
I thought that might be water, but okay, water. All right, nice. Nick, where can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, join the Facebook group. Real Estate is a Joke. Check it out. Stream live in there. Every time we do the show, we stream live in there, answer questions for anybody. We might be talking a little bit more about the metaverse and how you can be prepared. So go ahead and search that out. If you want to book a call with me for my company to help you bring more awareness and personal brand to your life, go to getamplifiedmarketing.com. Love to chat.
Yeah. Damn it. There it is. Amplified Marketing. There it is. There's the image. Jake Wolf. How do people get a hold of the Wolfman?
Come on over to cleverleads.com. At a minimum, you guys should be entering your information to receive news, press-worthy updates, webinar schedules, and all of these hot tips coming from my side of the house. We are running a big webinar tomorrow. If you guys enter your information, you'll get to know what the hell the Clever Nation is and how we're moving people, helping them save $10,000 to $25,000 on unnecessary moving expenses. And I might actually be getting with Nick Sakis to find out how I can move people in the metaverse.
Hey-o.
Hey, just saying. Hey, Stefan, it was a pleasure having you on the show. It was awesome spending our non-infinite life with you today, my friend.
Hey, my man. It was, you know what? Thank you guys for all having me here today. It was a lot of fun and a lot of knowledge. And, check me. What I learned today from you guys. Greg has a bunch of great guys. And I did learn one thing.
Oh boy,
it's good to upgrade and not be McDaniel.
Shut up.
You'll get it. But everybody could find me on YouTube. I have a vinyl show the first Saturday of each month. We give away vinyl records. We have a vinyl showdown. So if you like albums, Beatles, classic rock, old rock, blues, jazz, you might like our show. We do interviews ultimate interview conversations one-on-one with your favorite celebrities. And we got a merch store. And then during the week, that's Talking Wax, Adika Live on YouTube. And then I have another channel. Just look Adika Live Coffee Talk, Monday and Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have a show where we chat. And when the cup is empty, the show ends. And that's right, Greg. Marketing, baby. You're just jealous. You didn't think about this stuff, but settle down. You talk with us. I have a doctor on the show. I have a schmuck on the show, and I have celebrities on the show. Anybody from Andrew Dice Clay. Today we had Jackie Mason's daughter, comedian Sheba Mason, and human interest stories, all this good stuff. 30 minutes in the morning to get your life together with me, Stefan Adika. So check that out right there.
Get your life together.
That's right.
Get it together, people.
Get it together.
Go hang out with Adika.
Maybe one morning you guys want to come on. You know, I'd like to bring you guys on. We'll talk a little real estate, marketing.
I drink coffee in the morning.
You like it?
I mean, come on, man.
I drink vodka in the morning. Is that the same thing?
The morning show, it's a mixture of the old school Howard Stern meets Don Rickles. It's obnoxious. It's me, and we chat with the people in the audience. And you know what?
I get a lot of Howard Stern vibes from you, by the way.
A little bit. There's a little bit.
Take that as a compliment. He's probably one of the most successful radio hosts ever to live.
You know what? And right? I'm there. I'm going to take his throne. Fingers crossed. You got to think positive. But no, let's talk. We'll talk all that good stuff over a cup of coffee, and we'll see what real estate agents are banging their clients, behind closed doors and closets. That's what we'll talk about.
Okay, so we're going to delete that from the recording. No problem there on that one.
I'm joking. You can't.
All right,
do that
so we go to Adika, or Coffee with Adika on YouTube.
Coffee Talk, Adika Live.
Coffee Talk with Adika. That's Adika. For all the dyslexics like me out there who can't spell worth shit, go to a Coffee with Adika. Go check out Gene. Go check out Nick. Go check out Jake. Guys, if you want to hang out with me, which I know you do because you're here and we love you to pieces, just DM me on Instagram or Facebook, Greg McDaniel, REU. And let's have a conversation and do some coaching, training, and anything else like that. Gentlemen, I have to go show a $2.5 million home. So I'm going to bounce out of here like a ball in a racquetball court. But I love you guys to pieces. Guys,
I love you too, Greg.
Oh, well, big snuggles to you, Stefan.
Hey, Greg, go to the store and upgrade. Maybe you get one of these for your new podcast. But anyway,
somehow I really hate him right now. Anyways, we can't do the show without you. Go everywhere that you guys listen or watch podcasts. Give us a 5-star, not a 2-star review, so the algorithm will allow this to be viewed by other folks. Please hashtag anyone on this show right now if you like the content they have, or reach out to us for specific reasons. Until guys, next time, we love you.
And hit a thumbs up over here on YouTube for these guys. They deserve it. Give the thumbs up, everybody, and share it out. Share it all out. And if I annoyed you, share me to somebody who you can't stand. Let me bug them as much as I just bug you.
All press is good press, baby.
Love it.
Oh my God, you are literally so annoying. I'm trying to close up my show and you just cut me off. So I'm gonna shut him up. So bye bye. All right, and for the rest of the show, guys, we love you. Until next time, peace out, ninjas. We gone.